Hello everybody, I am Recipe Art Sheep and thank you so much for checking out today's video. And today we've got a little bit of a news segment which I'm either going to be calling sheep news or sheep droppings, one of the two. And this is basically where I'm going to be talking about random things that are on my mind really quickly, hopefully. So for today's sheep droppings, I have a little bit of an announcement, a little bit of an update, and a little bit of a rant. But let's first talk about the update, and that is Revolution in Full Color is almost done. I am on page 19. Well, technically I'm on page 18, but haven't quite finished that. But as you can see, this is page 19. Sketch. Look at the sketch. Look at it. It's so beautiful. It's so detailed. Have you ever seen sketch so glorious like this? No, you haven't. So, thank you. Anyway, I'm on page 19. Hopefully I will get Revolution Full Color finished by the 8th of October. I'm going on a little bit of a break, and I will not be on my computer at all for pretty much an entire week. So because of that, I want to finish Revolution Full Color up by then, but if not, then I'm going to be moving the deadline to the end of October. It should be done definitely by then, but nonetheless, I never like to say indefinites because you never know if I might be hit by a cannon tomorrow. So we're just going to aim for the 8th. I'm going to do our best. And if not, then, I guess then the 31st. I don't know. But it is almost over. I'm at the final stretch. And I gotta admit, I'm having a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work. But I really am excited to show it to you guys all. And if you guys don't know what Revolution Full Color is, there's a video linked somewhere around here that will show it to you. And now for the little bit of the announcement. And if you're noticing these things, these are comic sound effects. I made these actually when I was doing Revolution Full Color because I noticed a lot of comic sound effects that you could get online were paid for. And I figured, well, that's kind of hard if you're just a creator starting out. I was like, I guess I could pay for these. I got some money, but still, I didn't really... I wanted to see if there was any free ones first. But then I thought, instead of just paying, I could just make my own. And then I was very happy with them. So I ended up releasing them to the public. So yes, you can use these too. I put them on the Clip Studio Paint Asset Store for you to download. And right now it's got over 4,000 downloads and 243 likes. So that is pretty cool. And you can use them however you like. They're free to use, no credit, blah, blah, blah. Just go to the Clip Studio Paint Asset Store, download. There will be a link down below in the pinned comment that will take you right to them. And if you do not have Clip Studio Paint, then you can still use them. Just message me and say, hey Sheep, I like to use these, and then I'll give you a download link. They won't be quite the same though, so keep that in. But nonetheless, they are completely free and able for you to use. So anyway, that is the announcement. That is the update. On to a little rant, the real reason why I wanted to do this video, because this is something that really gets my goat and something very, very near and dear to my heart, and that is this. I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. Okay, so basically, a post by IGN. As a celebration of Disney's 100th anniversary, the filmmakers behind Wish did consider going full 2D in a nod to its roots. Executive producer Jennifer Lee tells IGN why they ultimately didn't take that approach. And you lost me. Any chance of me seeing this movie just went out the window. No, thank you. Like, yeah. Okay, so let's look at this article real quick. Okay, after the Wish teaser trailer dropped, animation aficionados were surprised to see the computer animation looked paintier than usual, which is more in line with the watercolor style of Disney's 1959 animation of Sleeping Beauty. I did not notice that. I didn't notice that at all. It didn't look like Sleeping Beauty at all. I love Sleeping Beauty. Granted, I'm not an animation aficionado. I'm just someone who loves art, so could have just went over my head. I completely acknowledge that, but I didn't notice that at all. And to be honest, in my personal opinion, the animation kind of looked a little cheap and rush, and I know that Disney Marvel and Disney Star Wars have definitely been pushed. I mean, they literally made what was it? I don't know. I don't care. Marvel Secret Wars. They made that the opening in AI. And like the effects in the movie, in the TV show, I don't even know what I'm talking about. They didn't look good at all, like at all. I didn't watch the show, but I saw like reviews and stuff of it, saw clips, and it looked awful. So I do know that Disney's been having animation problems. I'm not sure if that includes the actual Disney company. I do know Elementals looked very nice, so it might not be, maybe just the Star Wars and Marvel division. I don't know. But that is like I said, I just did not notice that. So anyway, let's get on to this article. Lee said that specific aesthetics came out of discussion with Wish producers Peter Del Vacho, probably butchered that name, I apologize, and Juan Pablo Reyes, Lancaster Jones. Geez, got as many names as I do. And co-director Chris Buck and Fawn, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, I'm sorry, about their collective goal in making Wish a film where there were no breaks from the artist's vision to the screen. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, not saying anything like that. Let's move on. What happened in Hand Drawn is like you have the incredible hand of the artist, but also limitations limitations in what you could do in screen. Limitations. I'll show you limitations. I'm gonna show you as much as I can. Hopefully I don't get copyright. I don't know any of this footage, but let's just go for these so-called limitations. Okay, this is Kenny versus Levi Ackerman from Attack on Titan, so it's on mute. And as you can see, it's pretty good. Now, granted, they used 3D with this, so it's not like it's all 2D, but they made it look like it was all 2D. You could do that, Disney. And here's another one, Paprika. This is one of my brother's favorite movies. And let me get to a better part. Yeah, just look at this. No, animation, 2D animation, so limited. Yeah, you just insulted, like, everyone who likes classic Disney and anime. And, like, I'm showing you anime examples, and people might be saying, oh, that's anime. They have their own, standards that the West doesn't. Okay, let's look at the West. Here's Beauty and the Beast. You know, oh, that's not me. And, yeah, I know this is CG, computers, but, they still did this in 2D. That's 2D. And, that looks gorgeous. Okay, here's one of my favorite movies, Anastasia. This, like, the backgrounds are 3D, but, this is 2D. Yeah, you really did set me off, was that one. Saying that 2D animation is limited. Oh my goodness. No. It's not. I'm sorry. It's just not. And, anyway, let's continue. What happened in CGI is you have incredible boundless opportunities visually that elevated, I can't read, even to the point for some into realism. I don't want realism in my animation. I mean, I'm not saying that it can't look pretty, but sometimes it goes nowhere. The Good Dinosaur looked pretty real with its water effects. Dinosaurs didn't, but they, like, the backgrounds, they looked pretty real. What did that do? I think that movie even failed. I'm not sure if it succeeded, but oof. I think I went on a rant of somewhat of this with my Little Mermaid drawing, but here it's just like really does get my goat, because it just seems like Disney can't do 2D animation, so they keep on trying to say they keep on trying to justify it by bashing on 2D. And if you can't do a 2D animation, fine, whatever. It's gonna make me mad, but whatever. It's not like you're not a billion-dollar company. You can make movies that make billions of dollars, but you don't got anything to spare on 2D animation. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. Anyway, let's get back to the article. The story of Wish fits into Disney's long history of adapting and creating original fairy tales that center on a central character with a passionate desire that they desperately want to come true. In the case, Asha, Adrina de Boze, is an empathetic dreamer who lives in the imaginary kingdom of Rosas, and sometime around 1200 to 1300. Why did you give a real date to that? Why did you give a real date to that? I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on. The idealistic land is ruled by a charismatic king who apparently lets a lot of diversity into his kingdom, but whatever. Not that that's bad or anything, but let's be realistic. European countries weren't that diverse, as the same was countries and kingdoms in China, kingdoms in Japan, kingdoms in Africa. They weren't that diverse. I'm just saying. So I don't get why you would put a realistic date on that. Anyway, Lee admitted that even after they committed to using computer animations to make Wish, they did consider using traditional animation to bring the character Star to life. Ultimately, she said, 2D animation had too many limitations in terms of camera movements and characters. That's why you use the 3D, like I was saying, right here. In this, they use 3D to help them with that stuff. And it's just like, you don't do it. Ultimately, she said 2D had too many limitations in terms of camera movements, characterization, or that. However, Lee said their upcoming short, Once Upon a Studio, I haven't watched that yet, ended up becoming the project that celebrates 2D and 3D traditional. We didn't know if it would work as it did. She shared, we did blah, 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 blah. I'm getting bored of this article. I'm not reading it anymore. Okay, come on, commit. We don't want in any way to shy away or turn our backs on hand-drawn. You're too late. You already did. I love Tangled, but you pretty much killed 2D animation after Tangled. You haven't done anything remotely close to Princess and the Frog since Princess and the Frog. And, yeah. Anyway, we love it. It's part of our DNA. No, it's not. And keeping its legacy alive is absolute critical. Then why'd you kill it? But with every film or series or short, we're going to do the technologically that we think that's absolutely right for what we're trying to achieve, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I hate this. I hate this so much. And, like I said, 2D animation is not limited. And, Snow White, their very first movie, right up here. This was a banger. It did, gotta look it up because I don't know off the top of my head. It did 1.5 million budget and then made 418 million. I can't read. In 1937, which I might add was during the Great Depression, on the cusp of World War II. And the people who saw it were kids and adults of all ages, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And it's what turned Disney into what it is now. Without Snow White, a 2D animated film, Disney would have not been the massive behemoth that it is. And to be honest, I love the classic Disney movies. They're so pretty, and Disney just doesn't do that anymore. And it makes me so sad and mad because it's just like, why won't you do it? Why won't you embrace your roots? And to be honest, I think I said this in my Little Mermaid video, I just don't like Disney much really at all anymore. I haven't watched a Disney movie. Let's look back at this animated list. Okay, I haven't seen any of these except for Frozen 2, which came out in 2019, and I didn't like it. And before that was Ralph Breaks the Internet. I didn't like that. And Incredibles 2, which I did like. That's technically a Pixar movie, though. But I did like it. But looking back, it's not perfect. The villain is kind of bad. I didn't like some of the new characters added. Their designs weren't working for me. But that would have been the closest movie that I liked. Outside of that, and Marvel-wise, I saw Guardians of Galaxy Volume 3. And I liked that, but that was really all. I haven't seen any Marvel movies since Endgame outside of Guardians. And I just haven't liked their movies. And I haven't liked a lot of their business practices lately, was the creation of the live-action remake of Mulan, which was also bad because I've seen reviews. I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the reviews, and they looked like it was a bad movie. But point being is, I didn't like some of the practices that they made in that, like thanking certain people in China. Oh, but anyway, let's read some of these comments before I go. Anyway, Disney hates its fans. Claiming hand-drawn is limited in its approach while using the same visual character style design since Tangled is weird nod of hypocrisy if I ever seen one. The only limit with hand-drawn is your imagination. Not to mention, it's literally possible to blend it with CGI, which is basically, yeah, that's totally true. They could have done 2D animation. What? 2D animation has too many limitations, is code for we no longer have the animation talent. And I do agree that. I do think that. If you, I think the last time I saw 2D animation in a Disney movie was in Mary Poppins Returns. Saw the nostalgic critic review of that, and it looked bad. It looked very flat. It looked nothing like what the original Mary Poppins was. And if I remember correctly, I don't have any articles or anything like sourcing this, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's accurate. When they made that movie, they didn't have enough people who knew how to do 2D animation to actually make those 2D animated scenes. They had to bring in veterans from the classic 2D animation stage, which is just so funny. Anyway, so back to the comments. So this shows that they absolutely could go 2D animated if they want, but the company just wants to make it as fast as possible. I totally agree. I love that slapping meme. There's one particular that I wanted to see. If 2D has limits, how did a choppy but vibrant anime sequence in the films like Spider-Verse, Puss in Boots, Last Wish, and Mitchell and Machines versus Machines and Bad Guys pull it off so well compared to that? Yeah, that's a good point. And like, people were just bringing up other movies like and again, not just animated films like, Akira and the examples that I gave, but also like, Western ones too, like Prince of Egypt, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Aladdin. It can go on and on and on and on. And then it's just like, it's just so infuriating. And then of course you have this little one. Knowing this really gets me, like, what the flip? You're just lazy, and Disney's probably got no one left who can even do 2D animations. Do you even know how to use 3D to improve your 2D? Anime classic Disney is laughing at you, you garbage excuse of a studio. Yep. So yeah, this doesn't thrill me. This does not thrill me. The fact that 2D animation is pretty much dead, and the ones who killed it are basically the ones who created it. Because think of that. I mean, they had 2D animation, like, before. But Disney is what thought, these things that we use for, like, comics and shorts that go before movies that entertain people and make them laugh. What if we use that medium and make it full-length feature movie? Let's do that. And then, of course, that inspired a whole bunch of things. It inspired anime, inspired DreamWorks, inspired everything. It inspired everything. I'm not going to say that Disney was responsible for it all, but it definitely put the ball rolling. And the fact that Disney no longer wants to do the beautiful art that is 2D animation is so sad. I'm not saying it's easy, but the fact that you don't want to do it is just like, ugh. Anyway, this video is 20 minutes, so we're going to go bye-bye now. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like my rant. Until then, bye. I will be back with Revolution Full Color, hopefully real soon.